Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and it is such an exciting day if you can't tell in my voice, because not only did we get to see our favorite Daddy Jeff return from the grocery store with not only 1 but 7 gallons of milk in the form of developer update, but we're also going to be getting a huge update for Overwatch just in general. And when I'm talking about like huge update, I'm talking about like immediate huge changes that might not be good. I'm going to be honest, like some people might hear the changes to be like, I actually don't like that. No, which is why I want you guys to comment down below after watching this whole video, hearing all the new stuff that's going to be coming, what you think about these 2 major updates, because this is really the big part about the developer update that I really just want to go into detail and really discuss about the potential upside and downside of these things. So the first thing that I think is going to be the controversial change that I want to spend a lot of time discussing are going to be hero pools. Now, you guys know in competitive right now how there are map pools. Right now, I think there's like Volskaya and Temple of Anubis. Well, Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch team said in Season 21, and possibly just in Season 21, they are going to have hero pools. What this means is that on a weekly basis, just a weekly basis, there will be hero bans for that specific week. So heroes like, maybe for an example, Mei, Orisa, and Mora will not be playable during that first week of Season 21, and then the next week those 3 heroes will be back, but then maybe different heroes like Reinhardt and Reaper and Brigitte will not be playable. It's a change that is very simple in concept, but is still going to be very controversial, mainly in the one-tricking community. Now, if for whatever reason you don't know what one-tricking is, basically someone dedicates their whole entire life to just one single hero. They live the Christian lifestyle, they don't cheat on anybody else, but they just want to play that one single hero. Whether it is d.va, whether it is Sombra, or Hammond, or Torbjorn, or whatever. And not all one-tricks are bad, mainly just because they only know how to play that one single hero. But whenever we hear about one-tricks, 9 times out of 10, it's a Brigitte one-trick, or a Torbjorn one-trick, or a Doomfist one-trick. Someone that you don't particularly are fond of because they're always playing that one trick that always gets countered so easily. And this is where the controversy can really stem from, because there are going to be a lot of one-tricks that say, oh, well, Overwatch is ruined. They're just trying to ruin my experience and cramp my style. And I'll be honest, it might seem like that, but in all reality, I really don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the point of hero ban pools coming into competitive Overwatch, because you're still going to be able to play them in quick play and whatnot, but really what this is supposed to do is keep the meta fresh. This is one thing that most people are complaining about. So if they were to implement this idea, there are still going to be people complaining, but there are going to be less people complaining than beforehand, because the meta is it's really forever changing. Like, we're waiting every 2 months to hopefully have the meta change where on a weekly basis, every single game that you play for at least a week-to-week basis will be a completely different experience. We don't have to wait for double shields to be nerfed, because Orisa and Mei just got banned, and those are 2 of the most popular heroes to play during double shield. Now, during that week, there probably will be a new meta emerging, but at least for that week, you can play new heroes, and then you can forget about that composition. And then next week, you can play heroes like Ana and Lucio because World of Tanks is, you know, just that kind of stuff. That's why it's exciting. The sacrifice here for that ever-changing meta are the one-tricks. And for the one-tricks that truly don't know how to play any other healer, let's say like a Mercy one-trick, this is one of those things where it's like, yes, it might suck for that week, but luckily there's no skill decay. You don't have to play Overwatch for that week, but maybe now it could give you an opportunity to just learn a new hero. I'm not saying or forcing you to play another hero. No, I'm just letting you know of the option that is going to be available in just Season 21. They might not even keep this in Season 22, or they might change it on like a daily basis, so that if you can't play your Winston or if you can't play your Genji during Tuesday, then you can just come back during Wednesday. I think it's just a shock of hearing the possibility of your favorite hero getting banned for that week, which it will happen. Like, no hero is safe with this idea in Season 21. But if your hero does get banned for that week, it'll be an opportunity for you to go outside, Actually, you're not going to do that because you're a loser. So let's move on to the second thing that I'm sure every player will like, especially console players. The other big thing that got announced with this developer update is the new experimentation mode. Now, I ain't talking about your sexuality. That was a stupid joke. What I'm talking about is that there's going to be a new playlist in Overwatch that's available to all players, like including the console community. And what this game mode is going to include is basically PTR, but at the Blizzard offices. So it's kind of confusing because there's already this kind of form in the form of the PTR where you're able to see what kind of changes are going to be coming to Overwatch. But basically what this is that it's going to be a separate card for live PC and live console where you're going to be able to play the version of Overwatch at the Blizzard offices, or at least that's the way that I see it, the way that Jeff Kaplan explained it, because I'm trying to see the difference between PTR and experimentation. So let's just use the recent example with Roadhog, because they were experimenting with Roadhog, moving him to the DPS slot and also changing his HP to 400. If you were to go into experimentation, you would be able to play Roadhog as a DPS hero with 400 HP and a completely different kit. And that's because they're experimenting with that kind of idea. Is it gonna go to live servers or even onto PTR, where 9 times out of 10, the changes that go onto PTR go onto live servers? I would say, like, it's probably not going to happen. I don't know what the ratio is of likely going to go live versus not likely going to go live because, well, experimentation isn't here. But just like you go into the bar and you're a girl and you decide to kiss a hot girl during that night, are you gonna turn lesbian? Probably not, because, well, you're born lesbian and you can't just turn it at the snap of a finger. But what I'm trying to say here, while also trying to be PC and trying to be stupidly funny, is that this is just supposed to be a fun little game mode where you're able to still progress in the game, where you're still able to rank up and earn loot boxes, but also see what is in the pipeline and in the future for Overwatch. But also, more importantly for Blizzard, to give them feedback. The point of the experimentation card, similar to like how the hero ban pool system is to attack the meta. I mean, this whole developer update was basically just talking about attacking the meta versus just balancing the game. Because when they decide to balance the game, they nerf and buff and change a bunch of different heroes. But with these two things, I feel like they're targeting the popular heroes. Something that, again, so many people have been complaining about recently, which is the stale meta, which is that Blizzard isn't caring and isn't changing the game. Mei is so OP and Double Shield is so OP. Well, now with experimentation, they can just start to attack the meta directly so that players can give their feedback on how they feel about this specific build of Overwatch. But one thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize, because a large majority of Overwatch news channels and streamers are on PC, is that when it comes to PTR, they lose out on, I want to say, like half of the player base's feedback, because they can't play the PTR. They can't play the quote-unquote new build that is coming to Overwatch and give the feedback. Half of the player base that I'm referring to is the console community. With experimentations, now you can have people on PlayStation 4 and Xbox and on Nintendo Switch give their feedback on what they feel about this build of Overwatch. More people that are giving their feedback means that there's less likely to have discrepancy or there to be a mistake, because now there's, well, more people participating. It's just a bigger sample size, which is really good in the case of Blizzard, and that's why I think this change, while yes, it's beneficial for the console community, it's more beneficial for Blizzard to make a better Overwatch experience, because more people on all different kinds of platforms and at much more different ranks are gonna be able to give way better not way better feedback, but just more feedback in general. Then the rest of the update went on to talk about good quality of life changes, like with new career profile stuff, especially with Overwatch 2 coming, and also anti-cheat systems, which he didn't even go into detail, so I won't go into detail about it either. But overall, the two biggest things were the hero pools and experimentation, and the whole idea of this future update is to really hone in on the meta and change the meta. I think they're really done with trying to balance out Overwatch, whether it's naturally or just slowly with trying to bring up heroes and slowly bringing down heroes. No, they're looking at the heroes, they see, okay, this hero is popular, let's fix it, either with experimentation or ban it for next week. Will there be problems? Yes. Just like with role queue, there are problems. Like with the role queue time, waiting 15 minutes for a DPS game, that is a huge problem. But I don't see any people really complaining about people not being cooperative because they're not playing a 2-2-2 comp, because that completely fixed that problem. Hero pools are gonna fix the problem of metas being so stale every single competitive season. There's gonna be some sacrifices that you need to make, but just like in a relationship, there are going to be compromises that need to be made. Blizzard is making compromises for years, and we have to stop being so stubborn and not be so scared of change. This is gonna be a huge change where it's not gonna be as scary as you think. Like, I promise you, you will still be able to play your favorite hero, maybe either after week or definitely in quick play, and experimentation is a good and welcome change. But please let me know what you think about all these changes coming into Overwatch. I'll see you guys later. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.